So I just recently started doing cyanotype printing. I built this UV exposure box, which has been something that I've had on my list of things to do for years, actually. It's kind of embarrassing to admit how long I started collecting supplies. It was probably about 5 years ago that I started collecting things. You can watch the video of the build process here on my YouTube channel if that's something that you're interested in. And now I'm starting to experiment with alternative process printing. And so I'm starting with cyanotype because it's the least expensive, but plan to work up to doing platinum and palladium printing as well, just because that's something that I'm interested in. But cyanotype, I feel like, is a great process to start with to learn how to coat paper and figure out exposure times and do all of that. So in this video, I'm going to cover the process that I'm following to create some prints, but keep in mind that I'm a beginner, and so hopefully this helps inspire you to get started as well. So I'm going to do 3 8x10 prints. Each 8x10 print will need approximately 2 milliliters. And so I have this really cool pipetter, is what it's called, where you can dial in the exact number of milliliters. This is a tool that I really love. So I'm going to dial this in to 6 milliliters. I'm going to add a little bit of tween. And so actually what you need is a 5% solution. So I'm going to dilute this just a little bit by putting 1 drop per milliliter. And so I'm going to need to do 6 drops of this and then also 6 drops of water to make this a 5% solution. What I'm going to do is take some water and I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to do 6 drops of water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I'm going to add 6 drops of this tween. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the other thing that I'm going to add is some citric acid. And so this is a 40% solution that I made. And I'm going to do 1 drop of citric acid per milliliter. And so I'm going to go ahead and take some out. So I'm going to do 6 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I'm ready for my cyanotype solution. And for this part, this is a little bit more light sensitive. Really, it's UV sensitive, so I do have some lights on. I'm gonna go ahead and dim them for this part as I coat the paper. So now it's a little bit more dim. So I'm gonna remove 6 milliliters using my pipetter. And so for this part, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in. So now I have exactly the amount that I need for these 3 prints. I'm gonna put it into here. Pop that off for now. And then I'm gonna mix this really well just by swirling it around. Just to make sure that the tween, the citric acid, and the cyanotype solution are all fully mixed. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this back on here and I'm gonna dial this down now to be about 2.1 milliliters, which is about the amount that I found that I need for each 8x10 print. And so I've got 2.1 dialed in, and now I'm gonna go ahead and coat the paper. And so the trick is with cyanotype is you wanna coat the paper pretty evenly and quickly because you don't want any of it to pool or sit in, or you can start to get some weird marks. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure out 2.1 milliliters that I need for this 8x10. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the cyanotype solution on here and go ahead and start quickly coating it around. I like to kind of go around the edges, so I have kind of a defined print area that I've kind of marked out for 8x10, and then I can start making sure that I spread the chemistry as evenly as possible within that. Now I'm just going to do kind of a combination of some up and down strokes and side to side, just to make sure that everything is totally even and that chemistry is everywhere on the paper that I want it to be. And then as I notice that the paper is starting to dry out a little bit, I like to add just a little bit of some brush strokes on the edges, just to kind of give it that just a slightly more playful look to the print. And then of course, once we have all of our paper coated, we're gonna let it dry. And you do need to make sure that the paper dries completely before you go to expose it and develop it. I usually let my paper dry for a few hours, and then once it's completely dry, then I can go ahead and put one of my negatives on there and expose it. And so we'll show that process next. And then I also have a contact print frame. This is really important to sandwich the print and your negative that you create really tightly. So I'm gonna put the paper down, I'm gonna put the negative on top, and it's important that you make sure that the ink side of your transparency or your negative is what is touching the paper. I'm gonna go ahead and put it down where I want once I have that lined up, and then hold it there nice and tight, and then go ahead and get the back of the contact print frame in there. So the next step is to go ahead and put it into wherever you're going to be exposing UV light. That could be the sun. In my case, I have a UV print box that I've built. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in here and close it up. And based on some of my other practice and doing some exposure test strips, I've come up with an exposure time of 2 minutes and 25 seconds for this particular paper that I'm using. And the paper that you do use, though, will impact that significantly. So something to pay attention to. And then we'll go ahead and turn it on, time it, and then we can go ahead and wash the print, and we'll see how it comes out. Not every print totally works. I've had to make a couple different versions of some of these. This is a tree that was just in the middle of the road, in the middle of nowhere in Iowa. So, you know, it's not perfect, but I do feel like I'm starting to get the hang of things, how the papers behave, and getting the chemistry to work. And so if this is something that you're interested in, I would highly recommend it. I think it's really great to have a physical, tangible piece of art that goes along with your photography. Obviously you can print with a printer, but for me, I enjoy the process of the chemistry, coating the paper almost like you're doing a watercolor painting, and then coming up with an image afterwards that has something that you took with a camera, even a digital camera, which is what I've been using. So if you're interested in following along with my photography and also just printing in general, as I explore cyanotype and then try to move up to platinum and palladium printing, I would encourage you to like the video and subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next one.